Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Prab, and today I'll be telling you all about my favorite books I read in 2023. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. The first book on the list is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. A beautiful book. It follows Charlie, a freshman in high school, and explores his school life as well as family life and what he's going throughout, how he experiences love, friendship, and explores his PTSD and trauma, how that links in with his relationship with his friends and how that impacts how he deals with life. He is the wallflower in the book, and yeah, it's just so beautifully written. It's beautiful. That's the word I keep saying, and that is what this book is. Amazing quotes. The relationships explored are fantastic. It's unique in its own sense. Of course, it's a classic. I do wish this is taught in school. It is a good lesson to learn and a good lesson to explore yourself and explore mental health. One thing that comes out of this book that I got was look after your mental health and talk about things and surround yourself with people that you like. There is a beautiful quote by the author, and that is, "We accept the love we think we deserve." The writing is just lyrical. It's beautiful. I would highly recommend. I gave it 4 stars on storyGraph and just loved it. And it does make you remember all the things in school, good and bad. I wish I read this book earlier. The second book I'm going to recommend is Swimming in the Dark by Thomas Zdrowski. I hope I've pronounced his name right. It's set in 80s Poland, which is going through communism right now, or the ends of communism, and explores 2 characters named Ludwig and Jonas. Explores the 2 political divides of the nation, how these 2 explore their relationship throughout those troubling times. It's a queer love story, beautifully written again, lyrical at its best, and just amazing how the characters are explored. The author did really well in writing down the 2 perspectives and the 2 opposite spectrum on the political divide and bringing those 2 characters together and how they are in those polar opposite ends. It is written in a very tragic way, as a lot of queer stories are, and genuinely this book is, I think I would pick this up and read this book again because it's that well written. There are some beautiful scenes in the book, and there's a whole paragraph that I'll read to you, which basically goes as this: "You opened the door and a ripple passed over your face, as if it didn't know what to express. Right then, it showed nothing but determined strength. You looked at me, I looked back, trying to gauge the moment, feeling out of control. You seemed so much taller then, standing above me, looking down. I thought we would stand like this forever. I thought I was too proud to even begin to speak, that I would not beg for anything, that I had no reason to feel sorry. But looking at you softened me, despite your new hardness or because of it. It hurt to see you like that, to have nothing pass between us." Just beautiful. The author's done really well with writing this book. I don't know if it's a very personally unique book to the author. It feels like it. It feels like it's personal, and it's a truly special book. I gave 4.25 stars on storyGraph as well for this book, and I would highly recommend it. The next book I'm going to recommend is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I hope I pronounced the author's name properly. It is set in a coffee shop where people come, and is very well known to transport you back in time. And the thing with this is you have to drink coffee and you have to come back before the coffee gets cold. I'll leave it at that for the story because I don't want to spoil it. It follows 4 different stories and explores several different characters related to the cafe and the visitors, and it's just lyrical, really well done, and things that makes you feel, oh man, it's just, it's something. The characters' relationship and the different stories explored. It deals with Alzheimer's, dealing with someone with memory loss, which is Alzheimer's, and how one feels about that, and how one feels about someone forgetting them. Imagine if someone you loved so much forgot about you. And it explores, that's one of the stories which I loved. There's another story about past relationship, and there's a story as well that's heartbreaking about someone and their daughter that they're never going to meet. And I'll leave it at that, because it's amazing the way that story was written. There's a lovely quote by the author which goes as, she wanted to do things without having to worry about what others thought. She simply lived for her freedom. It makes you think, it makes you feel emotional. I did cry a bit when I read this book. And this is the first time I actually read a book by a Japanese author, and I think I will pick up more books because I would like to learn more about the culture as well. But yeah, Toshikazu Kawaguchi, really, I think I'm going to read more books from this author, because I've seen a lot of these books, of the author's books advertised in Waterstones and everywhere. So I think I'll have a snoop around and see, because just something, it makes you think. It makes you think about past lives. It makes you think about what I could change if I went back in time, what I would like to change, and the consequences of the past changing. And yeah, and I absolutely loved it. Yeah, would highly recommend this book. I rated it 4.25 stars, I believe, and yeah, really loved it. And it's quite short as well, so I read it, I think, within 3 days. The next book I'm going to recommend is from the Shadowhunter world. It's Chain of Iron, the second book in the Last Hours trilogy, by Cassandra Clare. Now, as you can tell behind me, I'm a massive Shadowhunters fan. It follows Cordelia as she's going through love and loss in the 1900s in London. I read Chain of Gold, which is just over here, and I loved it. But the character development here, the different stories throughout those characters, it's amazing. It's so much fun. The side characters and the friendship that's in this book, it's amazing. Especially the relationship between Thomas and Alistair and what's going on there, and also the ending will leave you like with your mouth open. It's jaw-dropping ending. Loving this series. It's set in the Shadowhunters world, full of vampires, warlocks, and just amazingly written characters. Really well written characters, and I think Cassandra Clare did another good job. I'm a huge fan of her work, especially the Infernal Devices, and this basically just follows the characters from there. And also I love the fact that Tessa and Will appear in this book as well as Jam, and it just reminds me of the Infernal Devices. I just love this book, and I laughed a lot during reading this book, and there were some emotional moments in this book as well. There's a beautiful quote by James when he's speaking to Cordelia, and he's basically quoting Will, and he says, someone who broke your heart is often not the person to mend it. And that's just, it just hit my heart, and I just loved it. I can't wait to read the third book. I've heard some mixed reviews, but I'll see. I am looking forward to it, yes. And I'm also looking forward to reading The Red Scrolls of Magic, following Alec and Magnus's journey. Highly recommend, and read The Last Hours, please, because it's a really good series. But also read The Infernal Devices, because that will make you feel things. And it's a roller coaster of emotions, and I think you just have to be ready for it. So yeah, highly recommend this book. The next book I'm going to recommend is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I do not have the physical copy because I gave it to a friend of mine, but this book broke my heart. It put it back together and then broke it again. That's what the book did. Explores Evelyn Hugo as she asks one of the interviewer, I believe her name is Monique, and to interview her. She's a magazine editor, not well known, and you'll find out throughout as the book reveals itself a bit more, that how these characters are related, but explores Evelyn Hugo and her life from the 50s till the present day. It reminds you a bit of Marilyn Monroe. It reminds you of Elizabeth Taylor, the golden era of Hollywood, and it explores all the relationships she goes through, all the seven husbands, and it's tragic. It explores tragedy, it explores multiple times, it explores love, it explores different types of emotions, it explores PTSD, it also explores sexual violence and domestic abuse as well. It's tragic. I think you will see the common themes of this video is tragedy, and yeah, this book was the best book I read last year. 2023, this book was my favorite. There's a lovely quote from this book, and it goes as, "Heartbreak is a loss, divorce is just a piece of paper." That's Hollywood for you. I'll leave it at that for that book. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what books you liked to read on 2023. What were your favorite books? And yeah, and let me know what you would like to read this year. What's your target? My target is to read 16 books this year. I read 14 last year. So yeah, let me know what books you read last year. What were your favorite books? And what are you looking forward to read? Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe and follow for more booktube content coming your way.